to a packed Milford High School gym. The WCC Championship basketball game just minutes away from getting underway. Down on the floor is Channel 10's Abe Najami. He has Coach Bill Hibbard of New Milford. Abe?
I don't know if we can hear each other. Bill Hibbard, the head coach of New Milford. Bill, you played here. Now you're coaching here. You did something nobody did in the WCC this year, and that was to get by Weston. Your student body really loved it.
Our fans have been so supportive. We've been struggling all year, building, playing well, in tight games, and our kids have stuck with us. The school is just high as a kite. We got so much support today, it was just tremendous.
Bill, what about home court advantage? Is this the sixth man, the crowd?
I don't think there's any question that they will be as supportive as us, as anybody in the league will be supportive as their team. It's kind of nice. They didn't have to travel very far to get to us, and so it really will help us, I believe.
What about this Bethel Ball Club? What are you expecting?
They're real tough physical team, very quick, good outside shooter. I expect this to be a nail-biter, go right to the end.
What about your game plan? Anything out of the ordinary?
Well, we're going to play them pretty much the way we played them before. We're going to take the ball, try to work it inside on them. We're going to try and set up our offense and not try and run with them all the time. We got to worry about baiting their pressure. That's the keys.
Bill, it's going to be quite a night. Good luck to you.
Thanks, Abe.
Keep up the good work. Bill Hibbard, the head coach of the Green Wave, with his pregame comments. In a moment, we hope to have Brian Juggler, the Bethel coach, but right now, let's go back up to Jim Hunter and Tony Gorman.
Okay, Tony, you heard the coach, Bill Hibbard, say that in order to, what he wants to accomplish in this game is to work inside and create pressure. You agree that's the right way to go about things?
Yeah, I think that Bill certainly knows his game plan is what would work for him, because he's played this club twice before. He knows his strengths and he knows his own weaknesses, and I would agree with him that New Milford's strength is no question. It's front line and it's inside play, and they're going to have to take it inside and force the inside game against Bethel, because they have a bit of a size advantage. And of course, Bethel is a good perimeter shooting team.
So he has to find a way to stop those great outside shooters every day that the Wildcats possess.
Yeah, he's going to have to put some pressure on Steve Ruiz, who is an exceptional perimeter shooter with probably the best shooting range of anyone in this conference. He's going to score from 22, 23 feet. So he's got to be contested. He's got to be denied shots on the floor. He's the primary, I would say, primary outside shooting threat from Bethel.
And he did quite a bit of damage in the semifinal game on Tuesday night, scoring 26 points. What it came down to almost in the last couple of minutes was a battle between Steve Ruiz and Dana Smith.
Yeah, in the semifinal game, Steve had a great fourth quarter. Not only was he scoring well, but his floor game was great. He came up with some key rebounds. He made a drive with under 2 minutes to go. I recall him, and I think it was in the overtime. He made a drive through the lane. I don't know how he got the shot off. A lot of body English on it. It turned out to be a very big play. I think it broke Immaculate's back.
Certainly did. That game went into overtime with the final score going in favor of the Wildcats, 67-64. And I mentioned one thing, very rarely do you find a change in coaching at a school without some kind of problems being involved for the new guy coming in. That problem hasn't faced Brian Juggler, because Tom Pardalis built a program here at Bethel after it had been down for several years, and certainly didn't leave the cupboard dry for Juggler. In 1 year, he's got them in the WCC Championship.
Right, it was a great situation really for Brian to step into, because Tommy did a great job in rebuilding the Bethel program in the last few years. When Tommy left, I think he graduated 6 out of the top 7 players last year. Therefore, Brian was really working with his team from last year. He was the JV coach, so most of these kids came up with him, so he was familiar with their strengths and weaknesses, and he did a great job with them this year.
Do you think in a situation like that it creates a different kind of pressure for a coach, because the program has been built up and he has been left with some good players, that they feel, well, this guy has to win, as compared to saying, well, we'll give this guy some time to let his philosophy set in and, not expect too much right away?
Normally, I would agree with you, Jim, except for the fact that Brian has been with Tommy in the program, and his familiarity with the players, I think, really got him over the hump in that regard. And I know the kids accepted him very well, and the results are seen on the floor.
And you know, it's interesting. Tom is restructuring, rebuilding the New Fairfield program this year. The Rebels with one of their best seasons in memory, and it's interesting to see that Tom is sitting down tonight at the far end of the Bethel sideline. So I guess he still has a little bit of that Wildcat blood in him, and he'll also be anchoring the post-game award ceremonies.
Right, Tom is a member of the Western Connecticut Conference Basketball Committee, along with myself and Dave Strong, a Master girls coach. And I'm sure Tom has mixed feelings down there because he had these kids, and he knows the feeling of being here. He was in the finals in '82.
Speaking of the WCC Basketball Committee, how, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, how glad were you that things worked out with New Milford winning outright and clinching that 4th playoff spot? It would have gotten a little messy there, huh?
Well, there was some disagreement, but really I think we would have resolved it without any problem because our tiebreaker was interpreted different ways by different people, but it was to be interpreted the way it was written. In other words, the records would break the tie, and New Milford would have gotten that spot.
Okay, and New Milford's here in the championship. Right now, down on the court with Abe Najami is head coach Brian Juggler of Bethel. Let's get down to courtside, Nate.
Head coach Brian Juggler, we asked Coach Bill Hibbard whether or not this crowd with the home court advantage is the 6th man. Does that bother you at all?
Well, I'm sure it's going to have an effect on the game. We'll do our best to take the 6th man out, believe me.
Coach, what about this year? Was it what you expected? Your boys did a tremendous job.
Well, we anticipated that we were going to win a few games. I don't think anybody in Bethel expected us to be where we are today. We're really pleased to be here.
You had a close one with Immaculate. You've got New Milford tonight for all the marbles. What about the game plan?
Well, we're going to try a couple of different things early and hopefully stay with some of the things we do best.
What are you expecting from New Milford?
Well, I'll tell you, they're going to really bang the boards pretty well. And we're especially going to try and negate their rebounding strength and hopefully control the tempo of the game.
Coach Bill Hibbard said, nip and tuck battle down to the wire. Could you stand another one?
Well, I'll tell you, we've withstood them all year long. We might as well go for one more.
It's been a great year. Congratulations. Good luck tonight.
Thank you very much.
Head coach Brian Juggler, pre-game comments. We're getting close to action time. Let's go back to Bill and Tony in the booth. See you after the game.
Thank you very much, Abe. And you notice, Tony, neither of the coaches coming out in sweaters tonight.
No, I think after watching the St. John's and Georgetown game the other night, I think Lou Carnesecca is going to retire the idea of coaching in a sweater for a while.
I think he said he was going to give it one more shot when the Redmen face Providence. He says, hey, it's been good for me for so long. He says, let's give it one more shot. We'll see. Okay, both coaches seem pretty relaxed. Just on the basis of hearing them.
They sound relaxed, but I'm sure inside they're a bit tense and they're excited. And it's a tremendous feeling to be in the championship game. You can just feel the electricity in the crowd here. It's a wonderful thing for the kids. Not only the players, but the spectators are so much a part of high school basketball.
Okay, and we have the WCC Championship game. That wraps up the pregame show. Tony and I will be back with the WCC Championship game right after these words. Back at New Milford High School, Jim Hunter and Tony Gorman, head coach of Abbott Tech High School, bringing you the WCC Championship game between the New Milford Green Wave and the Bethel Wildcats. And we'll see if we can get down, if you can pick up. I don't think we're going to be able to pick up the court introductions over this crowd. When, as a coach, Tony, and as a performance player yourself, when you're in a game like this, when do the butterflies leave your stomach? Is it once you get out in the court and handle that first basketball in the warm-ups? Is it when that buzzer goes off ending the warm-ups? Or is it after you hit that first shot?
I think it's after the tip and the ball is in play and the players have had a chance to handle the ball once or twice. Then it becomes another basketball game. Until that point, I mean, the butterflies are there. It's an exciting time for the kids.
Now, these are basically teams that are relatively inexperienced at being this far. How do you think, if you were a coach, how would you approach getting them, in a proper frame of mind, not too high, not too low?
That's always a problem, Jim, for a coach. You really don't know how the kids are going to be. I think you have to never get the kids too high and never be too low. When things go good or when things go badly. And I think they have to do the things that got them here. Both teams, I think, are surprised to be in a championship game, and they're both, as you say, inexperienced. And I think we'll see some. I think we'll see some jitters early in the game from both teams.
Actually, it was funny. Last year, in the last 2 years, the top team in the league has been knocked off in the first round of the conference playoffs. Last year, you had the New Milford team led by John Naduku got knocked out early. You'd think losing players like that, like Naduku and Hansen and Highsmith and those guys, well, you're going to take a year to get used to some new kids, but here they are.
One thing about New Milford, though, remember this, Jim, these kids have played for 2 years behind some very fine basketball players, the kids who graduated last year, and they've kind of waited in the wings for their turn, and when they got their turn, they've taken advantage of it. They were ready. They were ready to play.
Okay, last Friday night, Tony, these two teams played a game which was important for Bethel. Well, it was important for both teams, but we'll get to that right after our national anthem. Efforts of the New Milford and Bethel chorus with the rendition of our national anthem. Okay, we've heard talk about home court advantage. How much does it mean for New Milford that this game is being played on their home court?
It probably gives them a slight edge in the sense that they're familiar with the court. But both teams played here Tuesday night, remember, so Bethel's played on the court. And the crowd, I think, is pretty well divided between Bethel fans and the Milford fans. So there's probably a slight edge to New Milford, but I don't think it's as big an edge as people might think.
Okay, the starting lineup's coming right now. There are Dan Ratola and Eric Jackson, pair of starting guards for both teams. Steve Kisling coming out now for Bethel. And Sean Clark, the hero of Tuesday night's victory, a 21-point performance, a career high in the upset over Weston. And now Jeff Chukonczyk. He'll be wearing number 33 for the Wildcats. And he'll be going up against Ed McCall, the 6'3" senior. Lots of height on this New Milford team. We'll be talking about that as the game goes along. And the hero from Bethel's side on Tuesday night in the victory over Immaculate, Steve Ruiz, the 6'2" junior. And Mike McCafferty, the 5'8" senior from New Milford. I tell you, that's a uniform. He's filling John Naduku's number the last few years. And finally, rounding it out, number 10, Dave Lesage of New Milford, of Bethel. And Glenn Gilletto of New Milford. So there are your starting lineups. This should be some basketball game, Tony.
I'm looking forward to it. It's a great thing for our conference since we've gone to the playoff format. I mean, I think it's added so much interest to our conference. You see two fine nights of high school basketball, the semis and the finals.
Okay, there we see the season records of these teams overall. New Milford 11-5, 13-6 in overall, 11-5 in the WCC. They finished second in the Briggs division behind Bethel. Bethel going 13-3 in the league. 14-5 overall. So basically what you've got here is an all-Briggs division final.
All-Briggs final, and two top teams in that division obviously playing out for the championship. I'm I'm looking forward to a great game with these. I think it looks to be such an even game based upon the two previous contests. I really can't give an edge to either team. We'll have to see who comes out of the blocks quickly and whether the coaches can implement the things they want to in terms of game plan.
Okay, we will see as the evening moves along. 32 minutes of basketball for the WCC Championship. You know, Tony, I wonder how much an intangible might be pushing Bethel in this game, because the girls won the WCC Basketball Championship for the second straight year, and you had the boys win the WCC Football Championship for the second straight year. I think these guys would like to get a little slice of the glory.
I am sure you're right about that.
Okay, it will be Steve Ruiz jumping for Bethel, and Glenn Giletto for New Milford. New Milford controls the tap. We're underway. WCC Championship. Mike McCafferty with the ball now. He goes down low to Eric Jackson. We have our first whistle of the game.
I believe something was thrown on the floor, Jim.
And that's something we have had problems with before. Airplanes and confetti landing. It gets very dangerous down the court. People don't realize they could injure one of their favorite players. Okay, inbound the ball. It's McCafferty. And with the ball now is McCafferty. McCall. McCafferty again. Back to Jackson.
Bethel's opening up in that 1-3-1 zone. It looks like with... it looks as though Dave Lesage playing that baseline, trying to match up with Sean Clark along the baseline. And Steve Ruiz matching up on the left wing with Greg Jackson.
New Milford very deliberate, very patient. The steal attempt didn't work. The first shot of the game up, no good. Rebound for Bethel by Jakunsic. First time with the ball. Dan Matola coming up court, between the leg dribble.
New Milford's opening up 1-3-1 also.
And that's the defense they use to help shut down the big men. And we have our first turnover of the game, a traveling violation on Matola. We played just about 51 seconds. No score, Bethel and New Milford.
A little case of the jitters from both teams, I think.
McCafferty and McCall in the backcourt. Jackson. Now Giletto down along the baseline to McCall. Can't find anybody. Down low. Clark misses. Rebound by Ruiz. Still no score. We played just about a minute and a half. Kissling, Matola, Lesage. Lesage being watched closely by Jackson. Matola, Lesage, down low. Easy layup is blown by Ruiz.
Kids are still tense. You won't see Steve Ruiz miss that shot very often.
Okay, McCafferty and Jackson playing catch now. The looping pass goes to Giletto. Hook shot is good. First point for the game. Go to Glenn Giletto of New Milford. The Wave leads 2-0.
I think New Milford will try to work off Giletto in the post area and look for him to score there or to distribute the ball from the post area to the perimeter shooters.
Matola from 18 misfires. Here comes the Wave back. They lead 2-0. McCafferty trying to go baseline, couldn't do it. Comes back, goes down low for Jackson. Runs the basket, no good. Rebound, Ruiz. Matola across the midcourt line, slows it up now. Bethel will set up the offense. Down along the baseline and driving through with the pump is Kissling, who hits, and we're tied at 2 apiece. Well, now both teams have that first hoop in, Tony, and maybe now they'll get down to some basketball as we get a look at Kissling there.
We're still going through the feeling out period. Each team is testing the other zone, trying to see where the openings are, where the gaps are they can attack. I think you'll see both teams be patient early. There's a pass to the post.
And the shot rims the basket. Misfiring was McCall. And Matola for Bethel. Likes to burst across the midcourt line and then slow it up and take a look at what's going on.
Matola's a real quick guard. He's the kind of kid who can penetrate well against any kind of defense. Tough
along the baseline, popping and misfiring was Ruiz. Rebound, Clark. Tied at 2 apiece. 4:41 to go in quarter number 1, WCC Championship basketball game. New Milford in possession. They are in the green uniforms, in the visiting uniforms on their home court. They are the number 4 seed, but boy, did they pull off an upset the other night as Jackson hits. So Jackson puts New Milford up by a score of 4-2.
New Milford's patiently trying to attack the baseline, the back of that 1-3-1 zone, where that's where the weakness is against that 1-3-1.
Okay, Mottola, Kissling. Kissling slows up the dribble. Almost dragged that back pivot foot, would have had a traveling call there. And Lesage going baseline has it blocked by Jackson, out of bounds. It will still remain Bethel basketball. Bethel, the Wildcats in their home whites as the number 2 seeded team in the tournament. The inbounds to Kissling. Mottola almost lost control of the ball there, but managed to get it to Kissling. Lesage, Ruiz, and look at, they work the ball around. Layup is good and a foul.
It's a beautiful skip pass from the baseline by Steve Kissling over to Steve Ruiz over on the right wing, who was cutting down to the block, and that's a great technique to use against a zone, is that skip pass across, particularly when you can get it to the baseline. If you can get it to a kid like Ruiz, he's going to hurt you.
Okay, and Ruiz with a chance for the three-point play here. And he makes it. And it is now 5-4, Bethel in the lead. 3:49 to go, quarter number 1.
Coming out with a little three-quarter court pressure now, 1-2, 1-1.
As McCall comes across the midcourt line, bounces it to Clark. Clark finds the baseline blocked off, passes off to McCafferty. McCafferty hitting from the free throw line. And it is a 6-5 lead for New Milford. Now both teams settling down, going back and forth now. And putting Bethel right back on top is Ruiz. Ruiz off to a fast start. He's got 5. And it is 7-6 Bethel as the pressure in the backcourt now, but New Milford breaks it. Clark with the ball. Clark jumps and hits. Nothing but net. Sean Clark, his first 2 of the night. And it's 8-7 in favor of New Milford.
I think both teams are going to their strong suits early. Clark on the baseline and Ruiz for Bethel.
And now the turnover by Bethel. Kissling not getting the shot off. And it is McCafferty. Stops, pops, hits. McCafferty has hit his first 2. And it is 10-7 in favor of New Milford. 2:45 to go in quarter number 1. Now Mottola slows it up. Long jumper by Ruiz is good. Nothing but net for Ruiz. He's got 7 now. And it is 10-9 New Milford. Pressure in the backcourt again. And this time Jackson breaks the press himself, gets it up court. Here's Clark looking to go baseline. Nothing there. Blocked off. And he gets it back out to McCall. McCall again. Pops from 18 and hits. So they've hit their last 3 shots. New Milford has.
McCall, I think, is New Milford's answer to Ruiz. He's the best perimeter shooter from the wing, and he'll look to open it up. If they can open up from the wing, I think it's going to free up Galeno in the middle a lot more.
Okay, it is 12-9 New Milford now. 2 minutes to go. And stopping is Mottola. Shot is no good. Rebound is made by Jakuncic. Gets it back out to Mottola. They'll start all over. Ruiz. And this is Lesage. No good. Rebound by Ruiz. Ruiz goes up. And the shot is no good, but a whistle and a foul. That one will go against Galeno. That is his first on the evening.
Good offensive rebounding by Bethel. They got 3 shots on that opportunity, and when you can get 3 shots and your offensive end either going to score or you're going to end up on that free throw line.
Ruiz, who has 7 already at the free throw line, gets the roll on the first one. The 6'2 junior with his second shot. Misfires on that one, and the rebound taken by Galeno, and the foul will go against Kissling. That's his first on the evening. Bethel's first foul, or Bethel's 3rd foul on the night. And with 1:43 to go, it is 12-10 in favor of New Milford.
Looks like Bethel wants to up the tempo a bit. They're staying with their pressure, 3-quarter court, 1-2, 1-1, trying to force New Milford to
and
play
Clark
at a
feeds
faster tempo.
down low and hits the basket. Rob Haggett picks it up, his first hoop of the night. And it is 14-10 in favor of New Milford. Lesage, Mottola with the pop, and it is no good. And the rebound cleared out by Galeno. Galeno down court, New Milford on the run. This is McCafferty. McCafferty looking for some shooting room, doesn't get it. Haggett walked with the ball.
Had good judgment there by Mike McCafferty and not forcing a shot in that situation and pulling it out. Unfortunately, it was a turnover at the end of it, but I think not forcing the break there was a good move by New Milford.
Final minute of quarter number 1. The Wildcats going from right to left in this first quarter. Matola down low, and the side jump, no good by Ruiz. Rebound by New Milford. New Milford coming down court. McCafferty now slows it up. Mike McCafferty, the 5'8" senior, to his partner Ed McCall. This is Haggett. A lot of patience being shown now. Of course, good defense by Bethel has something to do with that. And the shot is no good by Clark. Clark misses on the short turnaround. And Bethel will now pause for the final shot. Coach Juggler telling Donnie Matola to slow it down. He does. Matola driving now with 9 seconds, 8. He gets it. His first two of the night. For Matola, it's 14-12 now. Bethel, 2 seconds to go. One, and they won't get a shot off. Clark, it would have not counted, and that is the end of quarter number one. So we've played 8 minutes of basketball, and the score, New Milford 12, New Milford High School 14, and Bethel 12. Back with the second quarter right after this. All the action, we're getting ready for quarter number two. New Milford leads Bethel in the WCC Championship game 14-12. New Milford controls the second quarter tip, and this is McCall. McCafferty and McCall. The pass is batted away by Jakuncic, and coming down court, and Lane missing the easy layup, missing 2 layups. The first one blown by Kisling. Jakuncic with the follow, no good, but a whistle and a foul. And it will be against Geleno. That is his second on the night. Third team foul against the Green Wave. And it will be Bethel ball underneath their own basket. Matola will inbound. Gets it into Kisling. Bounces down low to Jakuncic. Jakuncic goes up and rims the basket and gets the roll. Jakuncic's on the scoreboard now, his first 2 of the night. And we're deadlocked at 14. Pressure in the backcourt by the Wildcats. Haggett breaks it and gets it back out to McCafferty. McCafferty in the paint to Clark, and Clark looking to spin and get a jump. Doesn't do it, and the shot rims the basket by McCafferty, and we've got a whistle, and it will be an offensive foul against the Green Wave.
Bethel's doing a great job of boxing out, forcing in the Milford perimeter shot. They're not getting second shots today. The Milford's not getting into that lane for the second shots, and they're not keeping the ball alive on the offensive board.
And here we get a look at first-year head coach at Bethel, Brian Juggler. He's got his team in the championship game, deadlocked with New Milford at 14 apiece. Lesage gets it down low. Jakuncic, whistle, yes, and a foul. Jakuncic with the short jumper.
Jakuncic is Mr. Inside, whereas Ruiz Mr. Outside in Bethel's attack. And the last 2 times down the floor, the ball is coming from the wing down low to Jakuncic, and he's got real strong moves along the baseline.
And it is 16-14 Bethel. So far, Jakuncic with 4 points, all 4 Bethel points, make it 5 as he completes the 3-point play. That makes it 17-14 in favor of Bethel. Pressure once again in the backcourt, not as intense this time. Now they close in, and New Milford gets the ball across the midcourt line. John Hankel gets it back out to McCall. McCall down low for Clark, who stops and hits. Sean Clark puts it on the board in the second quarter. It's 17-16 in favor of Bethel. 6:42 to go in the first half. Matola with the fancy dribble to Lesage, who goes glass, no good. Rebound Clark. Clark to McCall. Clark with the bounce pass, tried the bounce pass. It was kicked by Lesage, and we have a whistle. And
that was ruled an intentional kick defensively, violation.
New Milford inbounds along the side court. And McCafferty with the looping pass, and McCall banks it in. McCall has 4 on the night. New Milford leads 18-17. 6 minutes to go in the first half of a so far very well played WCC Championship game. The deflection by McCafferty, and the whistle and the foul.
Both the point guards, Matola for Bethel and McCafferty from the Milford, are doing a real nice job of distributing the ball and keeping their offenses under control. They aren't letting things get away from them.
Checking back into the game now, Eric Jackson. He replaces John Henkel. And at the free throw line for the Wildcats is Steve Kisling. And his first shot is no good, and the rebound comes to Rob Haggett. McCafferty slowly across the midcourt line to Jackson. Looping pass down inside to Haggett, and the shot is no good, but we have a whistle and a foul.
Milford really likes to get that ball to the left baseline area. If they look for Clark down along that baseline, he's a tremendous jumper. He's not that, he's maybe 6'2" player, but he's strong and he's got a great vertical leap and he's a quick jumper. If he gets the ball low, he's an explosive player going to the hoop. This is Haggett with the line, I believe now. Haggett 12.
As Rob Haggett, the 6'3" senior, hits the first one. New Milford leads it now 19-17. And Haggett will get another shot. And he tends them both. 4 on the night for Haggett, 2017 in favor of New Milford. And the home crowd likes that result so far. As Matola will take it himself and drills it in.
Pretty confident looking sophomore out there, Matola.
Yes, sir.
He's a nice player.
He's got 4 on the night. And again, the pressure by Bethel. And this time McCall gets it across, down low, Haggett. And Jackson lays it in. Nice pass by Haggett. Jackson laid it in, and it's 22-19 now. Green Wave in the lead. Bethel in possession of the ball. And this is Mike Pear. Shot is way off. Rebound by Lesage. Lesage will put it up with the right hand. No good. Struggle underneath. Jackson gets it. And it's stolen away, and the ball bounces right into the hands of Matola. Steal made by Mike Pear. And now a whistle and a foul in the...
I think that's a foul that McCafferty would like to have back.
Yeah, McCafferty would like that, and I think Phil Hibbard would like to have that back.
I think so.
It was very similar to a foul Pat Ewing committed in the Georgetown St. John's game the other night, and John Thompson got on his 7-foot center's case for it.
Yeah, a little lack of concentration, a little loss of concentration.
Guys like UB Brown go bonkers over things like that. As Matola hits his first free throw shot, he's got 5 on the night, and it's 22-20 in favor of New Milford. Matola up with the right hand, rims the basket, falls out, rebound by Haggett, who coming off the bench has been a factor in this game so far, Tony.
He's had 2 or 3 rebounds in the last couple of minutes.
McCafferty to McCall, back to McCafferty, wearing lucky number 13. Bounce pass to Eric Jackson. And Jackson goes in to McCall, who has fouled. The reach-in foul will be on Mike Pear. Mike Pear quarterbacked the Bethel football team to their 2nd straight WCC championship.
Well, neither team is in a 1-on-1 situation yet, so hasn't hurt them at this point.
Bill Hibbard, 6th-year New Milford coach, looking on as the inbound pass is batted away. Here you get a look at Bill Hibbard, who took a program from nothing and built it up to something.
He's done a beautiful job up here. He's created a lot of
enthusiasm. The inbound pass is taken to Bethel by Ruiz. Ruiz goes coast to coast, misses. Look at him stay with that and drop it in. Great second effort by Ruiz.
Second effort there.
4 field goals for 8 points and 2 free throws give Ruiz 10 on the night. As the long pass to Clark. New Milford getting off their offensive pattern a little there. And now the steal by Pear. Here goes Pear. He has the ball. He's taken back from him. Mike McCafferty with the quick hands. Little guy snatches it away from the big guy. And they didn't call a reach in there. I can't believe that call. McCafferty drills it from 25. And gives New Milford a 24-22 lead. Boy, the individual effort there by Mr. McCafferty, the little guy against the big guy, Pear.
Great hustle coming back after the turnover that preceded that play.
And right back to Kunsick misses.
And they got a 4-on-2 situation.
New Milford's running underneath. Jackson blows the easy layup. And back come the Wildcats. And Matola here is going to slow it down. 3:33 to go in the first half. Down low, the ball stolen by Clark, 3 stolen, and dropped in by Ruiz. So Ruiz has a dozen on the night. Alert play.
Bethel's picked up their pressure quite a bit in the last 2 minutes, Jim, and I think we're starting to see a little bit shaky play by New Milford against the pressure. They're rattled a bit.
Clark with a little trouble there, gets the ball to McCafferty, and now New Milford in a more deliberate offensive pattern, working the ball around. This is what they were doing earlier on. The head fake, McCall stops, pops, and it is short, and the foul call will go against Pierre. That will be his second.
Smart play by McCall on that one. He had the man in the air, leaned in, and made sure he got the shot off to draw the two-shot foul.
And going to the line will be the 6'3" senior Ed McCall. 3:02 to go in the first half. Deadlocked at 24. Bethel and New Milford, WCC Championship game for 1985. Pleased to be bringing it your way, as the first shot is no good. And McCall will get a second shot to put the Green Wave in the lead, which he does. 25-24 now in favor of the Green Wave. Under 3 minutes to go in the first half. As Pierre is no good. And the rebound fought for, and flying out of bounds was Rob Haggett.
I think Rob was already out of bounds when he made the save, so it was a violation against the Milford. An inbound now by Bethel underneath.
And it will be Pierre inbounding. Loops it for Jakuncic, who banks it home high off the glass. Jakuncic has 7. Bethel back in the lead, 26-25. This is Clark. McCafferty. McCafferty again. Matola comes in on him, now backs off. Eric Jackson to McCafferty, looking for some room on the left. Down low to Clark, who puts it up, no good. Rebound by Ruiz.
The Milford's changed his defense. Now they're coming out and they're playing a combination, matching up on McCall, trying to shut down the perimeter jump shot. It looks like a triangle in one, or excuse me, a triangle in two, or a diamond in one.
Lesage looking for Ruiz, throws the ball away, and it will be New Milford ball. Bethel leads at 26-25. Under 2 minutes to go in the first half as Clark goes up, banks it, no good. Rebound by Ruiz, who's been very active underneath the boards tonight, Tony.
He sure has, and New Milford's starting to try to run against the press rather than set up, and I think it's beginning to hurt him a little bit because the shot selection hasn't been what it was earlier in the game.
This is Matola. Shot is partially deflected and controlled by Haggett. And McCall bounces it to Clark. Back in the backcourt. Goes to McCafferty. McCafferty down low to Jackson, who throws it in. Jackson has 6, minute 19 to go. It's 27-26, New Milford. Eric Jackson with a little push jumper from the right baseline.
Milford staying with that 1-3-1 zone.
Lying in and charged with the offensive foul will be Steve Ruiz.
That was a close one, Jim. That's one of those that can go either way. It looked like Steve Ruiz had a nice lane to the hoop from the wing, and the old question was he set or wasn't he set?
I think Brian
rolled offensive. I don't think Brian liked it so much.
I don't think Brian liked it.
He's going to have to live with it anyway.
Yep, it's in the books. Okay, the Green Wave with a 1-point lead and 55 seconds to go. Clark. Jackson down low. Haggett lays it in. Haggett uncontested. Oh, they worked the ball around beautifully that time, Tony.
Great passing. They attacked the back of the pressure and got a 3-on-1 situation and moved the ball to the right people. Oh, beautiful penetration by Matola. He's so quick.
Matola with 7. New Milford on top, 29-28. Jackson with some room goes in, and that will be an offensive foul on Jackson that time as Ruiz moved into position.
Good defensive play by Steve Ruiz. He had a 3-on-1 situation, made a good defensive fake, and was able to draw the charge. Jackson's judgment on the shot was probably not what he would have liked on that situation. I think that Coach Hibbert would have loved to see him give the ball off in that.
We're inside, 10 seconds to go in the first half. New Milford leading at 29-28. Matola for Bethel. The Wildcats try to get the last shot off. It's put up and no good by Kisling, but we have a whistle and a foul.
Steve Kisling's a very strong player inside. He's not real tall, but he's a well-built guy, and he uses his body well to get inside defenders. Perfect example was there. He gets inside, takes it up strong, gets himself to the free throw line.
With 4 seconds to go in the first half. Kisling going to the line. And he gets the first one. Both teams shooting very well from the free throw line in the first half. And what do you figure? You jinx the guy. Nice rebound by Jakuncic, but no time for Jackson as he gets the long shot off. Would not have counted anyway. And that is the end of the first half. 16 minutes of basketball has solved nothing. We're right back where we started. Bethel 29, New Milford 29 at the half. Tony and I will be back right after this. Sean Clark, who had 21 the other night, has 2 field goals for 4. Glenn Joeno has just 1 field goal for 2 points. Eric Jackson, 3 field goals for 6. Mike McCafferty, the 5'8" senior guard, has 4 field goals for 8. Ed McCall, 2 field goals, 1 for 2 from the foul line. He has 5. And Rob Haggett came off the bench. He was a factor in the first half at both ends of the court, Tony, as we mentioned. He had a field goal, 2 free throws for 4 points. 8 points for McCafferty. Let's take a look at the Bethel scoring. We'll make some points after this. One thing the other night, Tony, was that the Bethel scoring was done entirely by their starting 5. Here we see just about the same thing, except that 4 of the starting 5 have gotten points. Jeff Jakuncic with 3 field goals and 1 free throw for 7. All of that scoring coming in the second quarter. Steve Ruiz scored 8 points in the first half. He has 5 field goals, 2 for 2 from the free throw line for 12 points. Dave Lesage failed to score. Steve Kisling, a field goal and a free throw for 3. And Dan Matola has 3 field goals and a free throw for 7. So once again, we see the lack of bench strength for Bethel. Actually, 1 substitution made in that first half by Brian Jugley brought in Mike Peer off the bench.
Brian normally only goes 7 deep in most games, I've noticed throughout the season. He plays Kevin Costello. He alternated him with Danny Matola a lot at the point earlier in the middle of the season, and now near late in the season now it seems that Danny's getting most of the play. But he does go to Kevin at the point guard sometimes. And of course Mike Peer is the first man off the bench in the front court. But past 7 men, I haven't seen Brian go past 7 men when a game is close.
Okay, we'll be back to recap the first half, take a look at what could transpire in the second half of this WCC Championship game. We're tied at 29, Bethel and New Milford. Back after this. They'll switch for the second half, 29-29 Bethel and New Milford. Okay, Tony, off of what you thought might happen before the game, how's the first half transpired in your opinion?
The only thing that surprises me a little bit, Jim, is the fact that New Milford didn't get as much inside scoring as I thought they would. They've gotten 8 points, I think, from McCafferty, and they've gotten some scoring from the wing positions with McCall and with Jackson. But I think Galeno's only had 2 points so far in the game, and I'm sure that Billy would like to see the ball into that lane area for a couple of reasons. I think they need the points inside in order to get to the free throw line. You've got to get the ball inside to get to the free throw line late in the game, and a game that's played this closely is probably going to be decided coming down the last 3 minutes on the free throw line.
And of course the men you're going to look for will be Ruiz on Bethel's side and Sean Clark or Galeno on the New Milford side. And Ruiz with a hot first quarter scoring 8 points. He added a couple of more field goals in the second half. He's well on his way towards coming close to matching that 26 he had against Immaculate the other night.
What impresses me about Ruiz is now he's scoring both from the perimeter and inside. He's going to the offensive boards, and he's picked up some of his points on the offensive boards, and by going to the boards, he's gotten to the free throw line. So when he's strong inside and with his tremendous shooting touch from the perimeter, he's a tough player to control, and New Milford didn't control him very well, allowed him to get 12 points in the first half.
I tell you, Tony, you take a look at these two sections of stands. We've got the rowdies up here in the blue seats behind us and the relatively calm people downstairs. Okay, we'll be back ready for the second half right after this word. We're ready to go. Second half, Bethel and New Milford, WCC Championship at stake. Both teams will begin the second half with their starting fives. And the jump is taken by New Milford, and faking is McCall. Puts it up and hits. Quick basket for McCall.
Beautiful assist by Jackson on that. I didn't know how he threaded that through the needle to get there.
New Milford takes a 31-29 lead, just underway, second half. WCC Championship game 1985. It's been a beauty so far. Hope you're enjoying it. Lesage way off. He's scoreless tonight. And the board cleared off by McCall.
It's like Bethel's opening up in a 2-3 or 2-1-2 zone to open up the second half. There's that pass to the lane.
And the shot put up no good, and the rebound followed up by Rob Haggett. So Haggett getting the starting nod here in the second half. Gives New Milford a 33-29 lead.
Milford stayed with their 1-2-2 zone right now.
Lesage to Matola. Ruiz. This is Lesage again. Lesage has been way off tonight. And Ruiz is way off as well. Doesn't even get the rim, and the rebound cleared away by Galeno.
Forced that shot a bit.
Mike McCafferty now. Yeah, they're working the ball around very well. Haggett blows the layup. And the foul will go against Haggett.
Nice baseline drive by Rob Haggett. Fortunately, he caught the rim on the drive.
I'd like to remind you that immediately after this game, we'll be giving a Burger King award to the tournament MVP. Stay with us for that. Candidates galore so far. Lesage has his bounce pass kicked away by Haggett. It will remain Bethel ball right in front of the New Milford bench. 6:18 to go, third quarter. 33-29, New Milford in the lead. Bethel has yet to break the ice here in quarter number 3. Going high off glass is Lesage. He is ice cold. And the rebound cleared by McCall. This is McCafferty to Jackson. Back to McCafferty. McCall. Jackson
still looking to get the ball inside this half.
Jackson takes the jumper, and it's short, goes out of bounds off the leg of Jackson. It will be Bethel ball.
Bethel's changed his zone now. It seems as though they want to seal off the middle. Playing Jakonzik up high in the lane, trying to take the pass away from the foul line area.
Bethel still scoreless. We've played 2.5 minutes, quarter number 3. And this is Lesage again. Finally gets his first 2 of the night. Lesage is on the scoreboard. And it is 33-31 New Milford. Now Bethel throws some pressure on in the backcourt. And the high pass to Haggett. Haggett slows it up and dishes off. Galeno on the scoreboard. Galeno with his first field goal since the first quarter. He's got 4. And New Milford back up by 4, 35-31. The steal almost by McCafferty. Lesage going baseline, lays it up, no good over Haggett. Ball bounced off the backboard. Taken by Ruiz. Ruiz is fouled. Bethel working both sides of the baseline there, getting shots first from the right side and then from the left. And Ruiz draws the foul. It will go against Eric Jackson. That's his second. New Milford with 2 team fouls. Bethel has yet to commit one, and the free throw is up by Ruiz and good. Ruiz gets them both. He has 14, and it's 35-33 in favor of New Milford. McCall to Galeno. And the foul, the reach-in, will be called on Matola. He's mad at himself for that one.
Yeah, I tried to recover. He let McCaffrey penetrate, got a step on him, and tried to recover, and was late getting there and reached in.
And Kissling going for the steal, doesn't get it. And it's McCall to McCaffrey.
Good patience by New Milford. They're staying with their offense, looking for the shot, looking for the wing, or looking to get the ball down along the baseline.
And Bethel's got the paint covered very well. They can't get the ball down inside.
There it is.
There it is, and the shot is no good. McCall missing. Rebound, Jakuncic. Matola slows it up. 4:11 to go. Third quarter. And popping from way out, Ruiz hits nothing. And Johnny on the spot was Dave Lesage. Was it a shot? Was it a pass?
Well,
I think
by design, I think it was a shot, but
Yeah.
it turned out pretty well for Bethel.
Give an assist on that one to Ruiz. And it is 35 apiece. New Milford ball. Jackson. And it's batted away by Ruiz in front of the water fountain.
New Milford's trying to run a high-low post offense, and they're working the ball point to wing, trying to get it to Galeno posting high while Haggett works the baseline so they can get that quick dump-down pass to get inside the Bethel zone. There it is.
There it is, and they got it. You called it, Tony. Galeno hitting. Oh. They work the ball around very well. That's how you diagram it, isn't it?
Very patient offense against the zone. You got to move the ball, and you got to move bodies if you're going to attack the zone efficiently.
And it is 37-35 as Ruiz that was Jakuncic hitting the leaner. 37 up. And now pressure in the back court. And this time the Green Wave gets it up to Haggett. Haggett's going to go and drops it in. So Haggett, who has been a factor coming off the bench, he has 8 now, and it is 39-37 New Milford. Matola stops. His shot is short, and we have a whistle, and the foul will go against McCafferty.
The kind of a shot the coaches hate. The kind of a foul, that the coaches hate. You get the guy to take a tough 18-foot jumper leaning. Let him put it up. Why foul?
You let them take those shots all night.
They're going to beat you from there. You're in trouble. But I don't think they're going to beat them from the perimeter all night long. I don't think you could ask for a more even matchup, Jim.
No, you couldn't.
I think what happened in the first 2 games between these 2 clubs shows they know what to expect from one another. It's a great championship game.
It's almost a replay of last Friday night's game. As Matola hits his first point of the third quarter. He's got 8 now. 2:38 to go, quarter number 3. Matola hits the second one.
I think Bethel's looking to increase its pressure now. I think early in the game it was a token-type pressure, and now they're picking up a little more ferocity in their backcourt defense.
39 apiece as Haggett dumps it off, and the shot by Galeno hits nothing. He threw up a brick. And Matola now for Bethel. Wildcats with a chance to take the lead as Ruiz hits. Oh, Steve Ruiz.
It's a three-pointer in the NBA, Jim. Good range.
41-39 now, Bethel leading. As Galeno gets it back to McCafferty. And shooting and hitting the front of the rim short was McCall. And coming back is Kissling. The bounce pass to Ruiz, who spins, gets it up, no good. Rebound by Galeno. Oh, a little contact down there. I guess no blood, no foul.
Yeah, no blood, no foul. I didn't think there was much on that. He made a tough shot, a spinning shot. And I don't think there was enough contact to call a foul. I think it was a good no call.
McCall to Haggett, who almost walked. The Bethel sideline with the traveling call. However, the officials see it a different way. And with 1:33 to go in the third quarter, Haggett will inbound underneath the New Milford basket. The high lob pass to Clark. McCafferty
We got Clark back down on the baseline now, running a triple post, rotating 3 players, Galeno, Clark, and Haggett.
Clark has been a non-factor in this third quarter, Tony. Haggett has been a factor, but he blows that one.
Clark has sat out a lot the third quarter. He hasn't played all that much.
Rebound by Lesage. Matola short. Rebound, Clark. New Milford ball. McCafferty with a minute to go. And
no harm, no
Milford
foul.
bench looking for a call there once again. As Kisling goes at it, and the shot put up by McCafferty, no good. A whistle and a foul. It will go against Matola. That will be his second. As we get a close-up look at Donnie Matola. And checking back into the game now, replacing Rob Haggett. Haggett getting a well-deserved rest. Eric Jackson checks back in.
Haggett has done a fine job coming off the bench. He's made a good contribution tonight from the Milford.
Substitution for Bethel as well. Kevin Costello checking in. And the first shot by McCafferty, no good. McCafferty still with 8 points on the night. Donnie Matola getting a rest for these final 54 seconds of quarter 3. Second shot, no good, and the rebound by Kisling. This is Kevin Costello, his first action of the night.
The Milford's back in a 1-3-1 again, Jim.
Ruiz to Lesage. It's almost like they're daring him to take those 16-footers. Patience.
Jakonzic's been very quiet. They haven't looked at Jakonzic that much at the foul line area, and that's, if he gets it there, he's a tough player. Strong moves.
Well, so far that New Milford 1-3-1 doing a job in keeping the ball.
Galeno's done a good job of shutting off that mid-lane area where Jakonzic is playing.
12 seconds ago as they throw the ball away. Lesage couldn't find the handle on the pass from Costello with 11 seconds to go. New Milford with a chance to tie it. They trail 41-39. Jackson will inbound. And almost some miscommunication there as Jackson gets it across the line. 7-6. 5 ball is stolen by Costello. He's going to have to get a shot off in a hurry. I don't think he knows how much time is left. Now he gets it off. It will be short. It was partially deflected by Eric Jackson. So we've come to the end of 3 quarters. The score, as I need to take a breather, it is Bethel 41, New Milford 39. Back with the fourth quarter right after this. Okay, Tony, here we go. Fourth and final quarter. Maybe not the final quarter.
The way this is going, you never know. Could be an OT.
Bethel leading at 41-39 as we begin quarter number 4 of the WCC Boys Basketball Championship. Can Bethel make it a double bagger? Boys and Girls Championships. We'll see as the Wildcats control the tip. Costello, who is starting the fourth quarter, is in there, as is Kisling and Ruiz. And
Ruiz missed about a 16-footer, but was good defense by the front of that New Milford zone. Kind of forced him to change his arc.
And it is New Milford basketball. They're down by 2. As losing control of the ball was Galeno. And I'll tell you, a couple of their big men, Galeno and Clark, are not having premier nights, Tony, by any stretch of the imagination.
No, that was a good effort, a good example at that other end. They got the ball down low where they wanted it, and they just didn't come through with the play.
And here's Kisling going baseline. Doesn't get it, but the whistle and the foul will go against Galeno. That is Galeno's third.
I think it was a good call, Jim. He wasn't set.
No, he wasn't.
Kind of gave him the hip on the drive.
Aggressive move to the basket by Steve Kisling.
Steve's a good driver. Steve and Dave Lesage both are real good bangers on that offensive board. They put pressure on the defense.
Galeno will take a seat on the bench, and John Henkel will check in. As Kisling goes to the free throw line. Kisling looking for his first points of the second half. First one doesn't get the roll.
Free throw line, so important in the big games.
As St. John's found out while they were still in the game the other night.
How true.
And Kisling gets the second. It is a 3-point Bethel lead at 42-39. 4 on the night for Kisling. And the ball is slapped away, and it will be a foul call going against Bethel. Foul will be on Steve Ruiz. Or check that, it will be Jakuncic, number 33. And it will be Wave basketball side court. Both teams with 14 fouls in the second half. And this is McCall. Backcourt pressure by Kisling. And this is John Henkel. Henkel double team, gets it down low. McCafferty. This is Clark, back to McCafferty. He's being watched closely, gets the ball down.
Beautiful pass.
Henkel blows the layup. And the rebound by Costello. You have to hit those shots. 6:45 to go. Bethel with a 3-point lead. Wildcats, Kisling going up against Clark. Hits the side of the backboard. Here comes McCafferty. McCafferty double dribble.
Got to be frustrating for Billy Hibbert over the bench because they're running their offense. They're getting the ball down low, and the kids just aren't hitting the shots.
Well, Henkel with the wide open layup missing before, and the turnover that time by McCafferty. And Bethel with a chance to go up by 5 with 6.5 to go in this fourth quarter. And it's Jakuncic putting the Wildcats up by 5, 44-39. Double teaming in the backcourt, and the foul will go against Costello. And they had McCafferty in trouble.
Bethel found Jakuncic in the lane well that time. Now with Delano on the bench, I think they're going to look a little more for him inside.
Stepping to the line will be Mike McCafferty. McCafferty with 8 on the night, has yet to hit from the foul line, has yet to score in the second half. He takes care of that little detail. 44-40 now, Bethel.
With 6:15 to go, a lot of time left, Jim. A lot of things could happen.
Neither side panic if things start going wrong here. And second one is good. So McCafferty gets the Green Wave to within 3 at 44-41. Mottola and Ruiz playing catch. Lesage, who seems to have calmed down, is going to pop from outside. No good that time. Rebound, McCall. Good position underneath by McCall.
Excellent box out. Sealed off that offensive player coming down on to rebound from the wing.
And McCafferty to Jackson. Back to McCafferty.
I think the Milford's got to start looking down low to Sean Clark along that baseline. There it is.
Clark seemed very indecisive there. McCall, as they work the ball around, McCafferty, McCall being pressured by Kisling. Now he'll pop from 18. They'll let him take that shot all night, as you said, Tony. Now we have a tie-up, and we'll have a jump ball between Jakuncic and Henkel.
Bethel's 3 inside players, Jakuncic, Ruiz, and Lesage, are doing a nice job in the rebounding triangle down low. They're really shutting down the Milford's offense. The Milford wants to push it inside, but I think they're doing a great job defensively, Bethel inside.
Okay, a timeout taken on the court with 5:27 to go in the fourth quarter. The score is Bethel 44, New Milford 41. Tony and I will be back right after these words. Tony Gorman bringing you the 1985 WCC Championship game. 5:27 to go in the fourth quarter. Henkel controls the tip. And Mike McCafferty. McCafferty and McCall. Down low to Jackson. Nice pass, but Jackson blows the layup. Not the layup, the short jump, and it will be Green Wave ball. They retain possession. Boy, when you get those short little
they're getting the ball. They're getting those 7, 8, 9-foot shots, lane area, baseline. They're just not converting right now.
And with 5:11 to go, the Wave down by 3. Jackson watched by Ruiz. McCafferty, McCall. This is McCafferty popping from 20. No good. Rebound, Lesage. Lesage seems to have gotten his act together in the last few minutes. Late third quarter.
He's a very active player on the boards defensively. He's the kind of a floor player that he doesn't always show up in the stats.
Jim Newkirk in the game with the bounce pass to Ruiz. Ruiz shovels, and Kisling could not find, Lesage could not find the handle, and the ball picked off by McCall. McCall across the midcourt line to Clark. Clark has it batted away. Clean block by Jakuncic.
Great block by Jakuncic.
Great block by Jakuncic. And Sean Clark just cannot buy a break tonight. He has 2 field goals for 4, both coming in the first half. Of course, Clark coming off the 21-point performance the other night. Hitting from the side is McCall. McCall has 2 field goals in this fourth quarter. He has 11 on the night, and it's 44-43 with 4:20 to go.
I think you'll see New Milford maybe start to look to Ed McCall and Mike McCaffrey to start putting up the 15-foot jumpers because they're just not scoring in the lane right now.
Matola Ruiz. This is Jim Newkirk just in the game. His first shot, no good. Rebound, McCall. McCall and McCaffrey. McCaffrey across the midcourt line.
Big possession right here, Jim.
Going right. Bounce pass to McCall. McCall.
That's where they have to get
Galeno. Clark can't buy a basket. Oh, it's like they have the lid clamped on there. That one bouncing in and out.
Oh, you feel for a kid when he's going through that kind of a night. I'll tell you. He's working so hard. He gets good position, and the ball won't drop for him.
And Lesage trying to drive baseline, finds it cut off, and Ruiz tries to go up. And we got a whistle and a foul will go against New Milford.
I believe it was Mike McCaffrey going to reach in.
And that is McCaffrey's 3rd on the night. And with 3:29 to go, that will send Steve Ruiz to the free throw line. After a 12-point first half, Ruiz with 4 in the second half. And he blows the first one. Bethel just 1 of 3 from the line in this fourth quarter so far. As Haggett checks back in for New Milford. He replaces Eric Jackson. Second one is up and good. Steve Ruiz gives Bethel a 2-point lead with 3.5 to go. Pressure in the backcourt. The pass is picked off by Lesage. Well, Lesage becoming a factor now, and Matola will slow it down with 3:19 to go. Bethel with a 2-point lead. Lesage to Matola. Kissling. Matola. Lesage. Matola. Lesage puts it up in. Oh, they worked the ball around so well.
Oh, very patient on offense.
I counted 9 passes there, Tony. I might have been off by a pass or 2, but that's what it looked like as Lesage goes sprawling in front of the official scorer's table. And
I'm sure that's not what Brian wanted to happen on that particular sequence. After building the lead to 4 points with 2:55 left, you don't want to put them on the free throw line.
Rob Haggett will be at the line for the Green Wave. Bethel leading at 47-43 as we get a look at Brian Juggler. 2:55 to go in regulation. First-year coach at Bethel. What a job he's done. Worked as an assistant under Tom Pardalis. Took over for Pardalis this year. Has his team up 4 in the championship game. Make it 3. So Haggett hits his first. And gets the roll on the second. 47-45, Bethel leading it.
Couldn't ask for more. 2-point ball game under the 3-minute mark. Now it's crunch time. Who makes the free throws? Who doesn't? Who takes care of the ball? And who turns it over? That's where these ball games are decided.
As Lesage floats it in. So Lesage with
nice
8
steal.
now. And the steal, and the ball is taken by New Milford. Pressure in the backcourt. Now they back off as McCaffrey gets the ball up court. Bethel leading it 49-45. 2:25 to go. And a scramble for the ball, and it's taken by Jakuncic. He controls the dribble, hands to Matola.
Nice defensive sequence there for Bethel, shutting off the passing lane inside.
Now you take your time. Lesage and Matola. 2:05 to go in the ball game. As Matola puts it up, good! 6-point lead now for Bethel. As Matola hits from 10 feet away, and the pass is picked off by Matola, slipped out of the hands of Galeno.
I think you'll see him use the clock a little here, Jim. At a minute 47,
And Matola is fouled by McCafferty.
I think
with 1:45 to go.
Settle down a little bit. The last couple of possessions, they just looked like they were a little bit unsure of what they wanted to do out there. I think the guards have got to kind of take over, take care of the ball. Still a lot of time left, minute 45.
And so far in this fourth quarter, and we mentioned it before the game, that the Wildcats now have effectively taken the New Milford crowd out of the game.
So important. They've been nursing that 2-3-point lead the whole game, and they haven't been able to get over the hump in New Milford.
Okay, we have a timeout call. 1:45 to go in regulation. Bethel leads at 51-45. Tony and I will be back right after this timeout. 1:45 to go in regulation time. Jim Hunter and Tony Gorman bringing you the WCC Championship game. Bethel up by 6 points as Don Matola is short on the first shot. Rebound, Ruiz, good. That could be the killer, Tony.
Yeah, that could be it. You just cannot give up second shots off missed free throws. I mean, that's just a major no-no. They miss a free throw, you've got to get a defensive bounce.
Bethel up 8, 53-45, and they got a major break there as McCafferty slid on his knees. No traveling call, and you don't want to take shots like McCall did from 20 feet away.
And Milford's a little bit frustrated now. They're just not, the shots just aren't dropping inside, and Clark made a good effort to get a tip in on that, and the ball just isn't dropping.
Galeno will jump it against Lesage. New Milford controls Clark. Clark, a very indecisive ball player here in the second half. Quite a different from the play we saw the other night, as the whistle and the foul will go against Lesage.
He's got to start looking for his shots, Jim. I know he's missed a few, but you can't stop shooting. When the shot is there, you have to take it.
1:12 to go, quarter number 4. Bethel up 8, 53-45, breaking it open here in the final minutes.
This crowd shows the great enthusiasm there is for high school basketball in our region. It's a wonderful thing to see all these people here for a WCC title game.
As Haggett hits his first, he'll get another one, 53-46. Every shot becoming ultra important here. Second one is good. Nothing but net.
I think you'll see New Milford on a press now, and I think Bethel will probably try to eat some clock.
It's 53-47. They didn't press too hard in the backcourt.
No, they did. Matola's a tough kid to press. He is so quick and so deceptive. He's slow to the floor, and he changes pace very, very well. He's a jitterbug out there, and he's only a sophomore. I haven't seen anybody effectively press Bethel this year when he's in the ballgame.
And Matola will be going to the free throw line with 1:03 to go. Bethel up 6. Matola hits the first one. That's a big one. You hit the first one, you get a second. Of course, his miss before helped result in the big basket by Ruiz, which put New Milford up, Bethel, I should say, up 8.
Well, they got to make their free throws at this point because you know New Milford's going to be fouling to stop the clock.
And Matola gets the second. And it's an 8-point lead again with 1 minute to go. As the long pass for Jackson broken up, batted out of bounds by Lesage. It will be wave ball in front of the Bethel bench. Brian Juggler a minute away from the WCC Championship. As McCall bounces it to McCafferty, whose shot is no good. And the rebound by Lesage. He's pressured in the backcourt, the whistle and a foul on Haggett.
At this point in the game, I believe the Milford's going to have to foul quickly, stop the clock, hope Bethel goes cold on a free throw line and come down and put up some quick jump shots. There's still time. You've got 51 seconds, but they've just got to get something going offensively. The last few times down, they come up empty.
Lesage misses his first one, and there's Bethel on the boards again. Jakuncic this time. He's double teamed, spins away, gets it down low to Kisling, who misses a layup, but a foul. And the foul is on Jackson. Bethel once again.
That's a killer. That's a killer.
They've gotten the boards on those important misses.
And that one, they were fortunate. They got a long rebound on that one. The ball just, it was such a long rebound. It went right over the inside players. The New Milford kids were boxing out well. The ball just went over them.
Kissling hits the first one. Bethel up 9 now, 56-47, their largest lead of the game with 45 seconds to go. And the Wildcats sensing that they've got this thing locked up, which they just about do.
It's another rebound.
Second shot up and no good by Kissling. However, the big rebound taken again by Jakuncic, and he's fouled. There you see a happy group of Wildcats.
It's 3 possessions in the fourth quarter that Bethel has gotten from missed free throws.
And now some of the disappointed New Milford partisans begin to leave the premises. Smart move on their part to beat that traffic, Tony, as Jakuncic takes his free throws. The first one is no good. He'll get another. Second one is no good. Rebound again.
Fourth time.
This time it's Ruiz who has it batted out. And here comes the wave. McCaffrey with 35 seconds to go. In low. And put up and in. And a timeout called as McCall gets the hoop. McCall with 11 on the night. 28 seconds to go. Bethel 56, New Milford 49. Tony and I will be back with more right after this timeout. WCC Championship game. Bethel leading it 56-49 over New Milford. The Wildcats will inbound from underneath their own basket as Lesage gets it in. And Ruiz is fouled.
Well, they fouled quickly to stop the clock. Only 2 seconds ran off on that sequence.
At the conclusion of the game, Nathan Jamie will be down on the court with the winning coach, who is likely to be Brian Juggler. I think we can climb out on a limb and say that. We'll also have our Burger King Award for the tournament most valuable player. All that coming up at the conclusion of this game. Now, he's still got 26 seconds to play, and Ruiz has a free shot to take here. Ruiz looking to crack the 20-point mark. He's got it, an even 20 on the night. Ruiz, of course, comes off the 26-point performance against Immaculate on Tuesday night. As the second one is short. Rebound by Geleno. 20 seconds to go in the ball game as Geleno takes it down the court. Hits, it will not count.
I don't think Brian wanted that foul in that situation. He'd like to see that clock running right now. He doesn't want to see his kids stopping the clock.
The clock is your best friend right now. And up above us, some of the Bethel spectators starting to sense it. Brian Juggler, of course, will continue to coach. 21 seconds. As McCall hits the first free throw. 57-50 with 21 seconds to go. Second shot is no good. Rebound Jakuncic, he's fouled with 19 seconds to go. Tell me, Tony, when you were in this situation a couple of years back, what were you beginning to feel in this situation? How does Brian Juggler feel down there right now?
Well, it's a tremendous feeling of excitement, exuberation. You're so happy for your players. It's one of the few times in a season that you can actually say, while the game is still going on, you can enjoy it. You know, the game is pretty well safely put away at this point with a 7-point lead with 19 seconds to go. So, you know, my congratulations to Brian. I think he's done a great job with the kids this year.
Fantastic.
Great thrill to win it in your first year.
Absolutely. And he's got quite a few people coming back, too.
Oh, this is a team to be reckoned with. There's only one senior out there. One senior starter. I believe there's only 2 seniors or 3 seniors that played in the game for Bethel. And only one started, and that was Steve Kissling. I think the others are all juniors and sophomores. They'll be a team to reckon with next year.
Jakuncic at the line, meanwhile. First shot is short, and there's been the story in the last few minutes. The rebound by Kissling. His shot is no good, and we've got another foul with 18 seconds to go.
We have a situation where we have aggressive, strong, aggressive athletes with Dave Lesage and Kissling and Jeff Jakuncic. They just have banged the board. They quietly do the job and get it done.
That is at least 4 clutch possessions of missed free throws by Bethel, in which the Green Wave has failed to come up with the offensive board, and it's hurt them dearly.
Well, you got a 7-point game. That's 5 possessions. That's 5 possible shots. That's the difference between having that 2-point game we had earlier and a 7-point lead coming down the stretch.
Checking in now for New Milford is Tom Groschner. Thank you. Groschner, a 6-foot junior. seeing his first action of the night. Kissling hits his first one. 58-50, 18 seconds to go. Wildcats. Gonna be a clean sweep for Bethel, as Kissling puts the Wildcats up by 9. New Milford now hustle a ball up court. McCafferty is no good. Ball not controlled, as we're down to 7 seconds to go. And Kissling is fouled by McCafferty.
Steve Kissling has had an outstanding game tonight. He always comes up with the loose ball. He's always a factor. He plays what I call the low game. He gets everything on the floor.
Okay, Tony, since you are the head of the WCC Basketball Committee, I'll let you make the announcement on who the most valuable player in the 1985 WCC Basketball Tournament is. Our Burger King player of the game. Go ahead, Tony.
Well, this year I don't think there's much doubt. 2 fine performances, and I think a very deserving award to Steve Ruiz from Bethel.
Okay, he'll get the presentation after the game as Kissling misses his first free shot. 1 second to go. Time runs out as the basket is hit by Groschner. That just makes it a little closer, friends. The final score: Bethel, the WCC Boys Basketball Champions for 1985, 61. They defeat New Milford. New Milford with 50. So it's a clean sweep of the men's and women's basketball championships by Bethel, as we see the act of sportsmanship encouraged in the WCC code after every game, championship game, tournament game. 2 teams congratulating each other on a well-played game.
It was a well-played game, and I think both teams should be congratulated, because it was a great effort that got them both here, and I'm sure both their coaches didn't expect to be here maybe a month ago, and I feel great for both teams and for all the kids in the gym here. It's high school basketball. It's just a great thing, a great activity for players and spectators.
Okay, the Wildcats wasting no time getting to the basket at the left side of the court, as Jeff Jakunsik takes his shot at cutting down a piece of string. Now Brian Juggler, in his first year as head coach at Bethel, wins a WCC championship. And we will have Brian talking with Abe Najami in a few seconds. Brian gets over on the sideline. Dave Lesage, who came on in the second half and was a factor, getting his strip of the net down there. Bethel winning it, 61-50. Breaking it open in the final, I would say 3.5, 4 minutes was when Bethel really started to assert themselves.
Yeah, I think, as we stated before, some of those free throw situations they just seem to take the heart out of New Milford. When Bethel, I think they were making like 1 out of 2 on the free throw line. So New Milford still had a shot to get back into it. But when they come up with that offensive rebound, I mean, you could see the faces on the New Milford kids like, what do we have to do, you know? You know, they had a tough fourth quarter. I think they did what they wanted to do. They got it inside, and the ball wasn't dropping. And you just got to give Bethel all the credit in the world. They just were a very aggressive ball club tonight. I think they just went out and took the game. That
sight a few seconds ago has to hurt if you're a New Milford basketball rooter. Seeing the Wildcats take the net down at the other side of the court beneath all those WCC championship banners for the different sports won by New Milford. Yes. However, basketball 1985 won't be among them. Bethel wins it 61-50. Tony and I will be back with more post-game right after this. At New Milford High School, I can finally hear myself in my headphones, Tony. Jim Hunter and Tony Gorman. The WCC championship game just concluded. Bethel wins it 60-51 over the New Milford Green Wave, and I'll tell you, Bob Pearson and the athletic department, the school department's going to have a waxing job to do on this floor with the capacity crowd of over 1,200 people shuffling all over it. Anyway,
Bob did an excellent job, incidentally, I think, in hosting this. It's not an easy job putting on a tournament hosting 4 schools.
Absolutely. Okay, Abe Najami is down on the floor. Now if you can see Abe down there. Abe with some post-game interviews. Okay, Abe.
Well, you know, before the ball game, we had the opportunity to go into the Bethel locker room. We spoke briefly with this young man, Steve Ruiz, who is the championship tournament most valuable player. Steve, you looked a little tight to be a little nervous. How long into the game before you loosened up?
Well, it really didn't take that long. As long as when my jump shot starts getting on, then I keep putting it in. Then it helps the team, and everybody else falls into what they can do, and they do it.
Was there a lot of tension coming into this ball game in view of the fact that they beat you a week ago?
Yeah, there was a lot. I mean, everybody was nervous on their way up, but once you get out here and all these people here, then once you get on the court, you just fall right into it.
I got to recap that first half. You were hot. You had the real hot hand in the first half. It was a nip and tuck, as the score indicated, right up to halftime. Then toward the end, you guys started to pull away a little bit at a time. But did you expect that type of ball game real close?
Yeah, we expected a real close ball game because we beat them by 7, they beat us by 2, and they just beat Weston, so naturally they were up for this game. And we didn't really play Weston that well, but we came out here and we beat them.
How does it feel to be a champion?
Feels great.
Feels good. Stevie, what about the future? What are your plans?
I don't know right now. I'm just trying to play here and then see if I can go on and play anywhere else.
You'd like to play in college, would you?
Hopefully, yeah.
Well, hopefully, too. Good luck to you. Before you leave, Burger King would like me to present this to you. WCC Championships, New Milford versus Bethel, Championship Tournament Most Valuable Player. Congratulations on a job well done. Steve, thank you very much. And see if you can get coach for me, would you? We're going to try to get Brian Juggler over here in just a moment to chat with him. But in the meantime, till we get the coach, let's go back up to Jim and Tony.
Okay, thank you very much, Abe. Tony and I will run down the all-tournament team, and we'll bring you the final scoring statistics, and Brian Juggler with Abe Najami right after we take this time out. Gorman back at New Milford High School. There you see the final, Bethel winning the WCC Boys Basketball Championship. And down with victorious coach Brian Juggler is Abe Najami.
Brian Juggler, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you, Abe.
When people read this score or hear this score, 59-52, it really didn't look or wasn't that easy.
Oh, it wasn't. We didn't really pull away to about 2 minutes to go in the game, and I think the lead went up to about 9, and we sensed that we had it then. We just kept the pressure up because they came right back at us, and we missed a couple foul shots. It wasn't over, believe me, until that final buzzer.
It could have been an overtime ball game until the last few moments when you started to hit, you started to get, and to be frank, New Milford had some tough shooting luck toward the end of the game.
They did. I think it was a result of our pressure. We pressed, and sooner, it just wore them down, but it took us 30 minutes to wear them down, and that's to their credit. I'm sure they figured that we were going to press. I don't think they expected us to do it from end line to end line, from buzzer to buzzer.
You were happy with your game plan, right?
For the most part, we were. We came out to press because we wanted to take their 6th man away here in the stands. Enthusiasm.
You said that before the game.
And we accomplished what we wanted to do.
Girls won a championship. Now the boys win a championship. Ralphie's done pretty good in football. What's left for Bethel High?
The pressure's on Billy Hunt. It was on me for about a week now, and it could be the year of the Wildcat.
Well, it's been that so far. And Brian, congratulations to you in your first year. Outstanding job. Congratulations to the Wildcats.
Thank you very much, Abe.
First year coach, he's a championship coach. Brian Juggler, Bethel High School Wildcats. They're the kingpins of the WCC. Jim, Tony, back to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Abe. Little correction on the final score. It was 59-52. Doesn't make any difference. Same team still wins. It scoreboard operator gave the 2 points at the end in the wrong direction. And it finishes 59-52. That last basket scored by number 5, Chris Copeland. However, final 59-52 in favor of New Milford. Bethel. So it's a clean sweep of the basketball championships, men's and women's side for Bethel. They won the women's championship for the 2nd straight year, doing that last week, back in November on Thanksgiving Day, winning a tight football game, WCC championship game from Immaculate. Okay, let's take a look at the final scoring statistics. Tony, for the New Milford Green Wave, Sean Clark finishing with 4. Nothing in the second half. Galeno with 6. Eric Jackson with 6, and Jackson doing all his scoring in the first half as well. So when you take a look at it, they got 0 from 2 of their starters, Sean Clark and Eric Jackson.